Hi, I'm Sean. I hope you all doing well. Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast. This is for the week of October 20th to the 26th. I deal with the three main transits happening on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then look at each sign. Please also listen to my video on the new moon in Libra, which is important. On Monday, we have Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio. Welcome to a day of clear thinking and fierce focus. Mercury, the planet of communication, joins forces with Mars, the planet of action, in the deep waters of Scorpio. This is not small talk energy, it's laser-sharp insight, clever thinking, and words that cut through confusion. Use this day to write, research, or initiate bold conversations. If something's been simmering beneath the surface, today is the day to address it with clarity and courage. Just watch out for sharp tongues. Scorpio doesn't sugarcoat. Channel your inner detective. Solve a mystery, dive into a juicy novel, or finally tackle that complex project. Your mind is a weapon, use it wisely. Here is an example. Imagine you're in a group chat and someone says something vague. You immediately reply with a perfectly worded, razor-sharp response that solves the issue, drops a truth bomb, and leaves everyone stunned. That's Mercury-Mars in Scorpio. Mental precision meets fearless expression. It's the cosmic equivalent of sending a mic drop email. On Tuesday, we have a new moon in Libra. This is a beautiful day and arrives like a breath of fresh air, asking us to start anew in our relationships, aesthetics, and inner balance. Libra, ruled by Venus, is the sign of harmony, beauty, and partnership. This new moon is an energy reset button for how we connect with others and ourselves. Why not set intentions around peace, fairness, and connection? Whether it's a new relationship, a creative collaboration, or simply a commitment to self-love, this new moon supports graceful beginnings. Here is an example. You're rearranging your living room and suddenly realize the couch looks way better facing the window. You light a candle, pour a glass of wine, and think about what kind of relationships you want to attract. That's the new moon in Libra. Beauty upgrades, plus emotional clarity, plus fresh relational intentions. Then on Thursday, Scorpio season begins. The sun slips into the sign of transformation, mystery, and emotional depth. This marks a shift from Libra's airy diplomacy to Scorpio's soulful intensity. It's time to shed old skins and embrace your inner alchemist. Scorpio season is ideal for shadow work, healing, and reclaiming your power. What needs to be released so you can rise stronger? Don't fear the depths, they hold your gold. Here is an example. You find some old pics on your phone and feel a wave of insight about how much you've grown. You decide to delete some old files, unfollow a few people, and start a new project that feels deeply you. That's Scorpio season. Emotional detox, personal power, and soulful rebirth. So let's go on and look at each sign. Hi Aries. This week activates your inner world. Monday's Mercury-Mars in your 8th house sharpens your mind for deep conversations, financial strategy, and emotional truth. Some of you might get important messages regarding shared resources, maybe some good news. Tuesday's new moon in your 7th house invites fresh starts in relationships and partnerships. If you're involved in a relationship, this is a good time to think about the next step. By Thursday, Scorpio season begins, intensifying your focus on healing, intimacy, and transformation. Speak boldly, love wisely, and rise stronger. Hi Taurus. You have a lot of energy in your 7th house this week, so it's all about your boyfriend, girlfriend, or partnerships. Basically, your relationships take center stage. Mercury-Mars in your 7th house on Monday energizes direct communication and passionate exchanges, perfect for clearing the air. Tuesday's new moon in your 6th house supports new routines and healthier habits. Maybe you could be doing something differently on a day-to-day level. With the sun entering Scorpio Thursday, your 7th house lights up again for a month of deeper connection and emotional bonding. Hi Gemini, it's a week to get organized, and you might get an energy boost too. Monday's Mercury-Mars in your 6th house boosts your productivity, tackle tasks with precision and passion. Tuesday's new moon in your 5th house invites creative sparks, romance, and joyful new beginnings. By Thursday, Scorpio season shifts your focus to wellness, work-life balance, and refining your daily rituals, but with quite a lot of intensity. Hi Cancer, this could be a fun week, but watch your energy levels. Also, your heart is on fire this week. Mercury-Mars in your 5th house on Monday ignites creativity, flirtation, and bold self-expression. Tuesday's new moon in your fourth house offers a fresh emotional start at home or within family dynamics. When the sun enters Scorpio Thursday, your fifth house shines. Embrace passion, play, and personal joy. Wishing you a wonderful, playful week. Hi Leo, home and heart are your focus. Monday's Mercury-Mars in your fourth house may stir intense family conversations or inspire deep emotional insights. Tuesday's new moon in your third house supports new ideas, writing, and communication. With the sun entering Scorpio Thursday, your attention turns to home again. Time to nurture what matters at home. Wishing you a great week at home. Hi Virgo, you have lots of activity in the third house. The third house in astrology represents communication, learning, and daily interaction, also how you think, speak, and connect with your immediate environment. It governs siblings, neighbors, and local community members, as well as short-distance travel and early education. So, your voice is powerful this week. Mercury-Mars in your third house on Monday fuels sharp thinking and persuasive speech, perfect for writing, teaching, or speaking your truth. Tuesday's new moon in your second house invites financial energy and self-worth upgrades. By Thursday, Scorpio season activates your third house. Lean into learning, connecting, and expressing with depth. Wishing you a prosperous week. Hi Libra, it's your new moon. Monday's Mercury-Mars in your second house energizes financial planning and self-worth conversations. Maybe you're reviewing your budget and suddenly decide to cancel 3 subscriptions, sell that unused gadget, and start a side hustle, all before lunch. That's Mercury-Mars in your second house. Financial clarity meets bold action. You're not just thinking about value, you're creating it. Tuesday's new moon in your first house is your cosmic reset. Set intentions for personal growth, beauty, and balance. With the sun entering Scorpio Thursday, your second house lights up again with more money energy. Focus on building value, both materially and emotionally. Maybe you start tracking your spending, but also realize your self-worth isn't tied to your bank balance. You invest in something meaningful, a course, a crystal, or a cozy sweater that makes you feel powerful. That's Scorpio in your second house, building value from the inside out. Hi Scorpio, you're in your power zone. Monday's Mercury-Mars in your first house gives you mental fire and boldness. Say what needs to be said. Tuesday's new moon in your 12th house invites quiet reflection and spiritual renewal. By Thursday, the sun enters your sign, kicking off your season. Step into your truth, transform, and shine. Hi Sagittarius, our inner world is buzzing. Mercury-Mars in your 12th house on Monday may stir subconscious insights or hidden frustrations. Channel them creatively. Tuesday's new moon in your 11th house supports new friendships, goals, and community connections. With the sun entering Scorpio Thursday, your 12th house calls for rest, healing, and spiritual depth. Hi Capricorn, it's a week of connection and clarity. Mercury-Mars in your 11th house on Monday energizes group projects and bold ideas. Lead with vision. Tuesday's new moon in your 10th house invites fresh career goals and public visibility. By Thursday, Scorpio season activates your 11th house. Lean into community, collaboration, and future dreams. Hi Aquarius, your ambitions get an energy boost. Mercury-Mars in your 10th house on Monday fuels strategic thinking and career moves. Go for it. Tuesday's new moon in your 9th house invites new learning, travel, or spiritual exploration. With the sun entering Scorpio Thursday, your 10th house lights up. Step into leadership and own your path. Wishing you a wonderful week. Hi Pisces, it's a week of expansion and empowerment. Mercury-Mars in your 9th house on Monday sparks bold ideas, travel plans, or philosophical debates. Tuesday's new moon in your 8th house invites emotional renewal and financial intention setting. By Thursday, Scorpio season activates your 9th house. Embrace growth, wisdom, and soulful adventure.